Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Eating While Broke. I'm your host, Coline Witt, and today we have very special guest, legendary music exec, Jerry Clark is in the building.
Coline, get it right.
And get it right. I
also paused like you was about to mess my name.
No, I wasn't gonna mess up your name, but I wanted to talk. I also wanted to leave in the introduction the legendary story time with Jerry Clark.
Okay,
That's
all
why
right,
I wanted
okay,
to
all
somehow segue so it's not just music exec,
Okay.
but fellow
My
podcaster
bad.
on iHeart now. So I
Yes.
wanted to include all of that. I didn't forget the name. I was just trying to
I know
get.
you didn't forget. It just
I wanted
kinda
to.
had
I know. I was
you
like, how do
stumbled a little bit. It seemed like,
because
but
I wanted to do the legendary story time with Jerry Clark, but I also wanted to include legendary music exec, and then I was like, all right, let's focus on what you
Thank
cooking
you.
for
My bad.
me, okay?
I'm gonna keep it very, very, very basic, and I'm gonna do some spaghetti with the signature ground turkey that I grew up that my mom used to use.
Signature.
I mean, I guess everybody eats ground turkey now, but when I was growing up as a kid in Chicago, my mom, she was, we didn't really eat a lot of beef and pork. So years ago in the 70s, we ate turkey, ground turkey, turkey bacon. So that's why my love for turkey come from. So that's why I cook everything with, not everything, but a lot. So my spaghetti is with ground turkey.
I like that.
Yeah.
Eating my bro. Eating my bro.
So while you hop up and get in the kitchen for me,
I ain't really, let me tell you,
hop up and get in the kitchen.
I do a lot of other things good, but no, see,
the streets.
no.
The streets.
Hold
I'm
on.
sorry, you're gonna hear me randomly
Coline
say this
said
all the
that
time.
The streets. What did you say?
You scream the streets. Jerry, I'm gonna say it now. Legendary Jerry Clark.
No, I don't.
Scream
No, I don't.
streets.
See,
Are you married right now? I don't want to say that if you're
no,
married.
I'm not married.
Streets.
Look,
Three kids, streets.
Whether or not I was married before though. See, I was married before.
Okay.
That's how I had
Well,
three kids.
Did the streets
Look,
have
you got
any,
me sweating now.
Did the
Look,
streets have anything to do with the possible ending?
no, not at all. I'm a square. I'm a quiet square, a quiet square guy. I'm gonna cook my spaghetti.
I find that hard to believe. You're legendary in music exec. You work with all these southern
Yes.
rappers and
Yes. So what does that have to do with me being in the streets, Coline?
okay. By the end of the interview, we're gonna determine if you was for the streets or if you are a square. We shall see.
Why? No, but you know what? Technically, you can be both. You could be a square.
That's someone that's from the streets would say that.
You could be both.
Okay, so
But you look, I have, not to cut you off, I have some wheat noodles that I like to use.
yeah, I noticed that you were very particular. What's up with the wheat? I didn't even know they sold wheat until you said wheat.
Come on, Coline, stop.
I was like, shit, how do you tell? I literally looked at the noodles. I said, how do you tell which ones are wheat? And then I saw some that look like wheat, and then I saw some that said wheat. And I said, okay, there's a such thing.
Coline, you had never heard of wheat noodles?
I eat protein noodles. Have you heard of protein noodles? Exactly.
No, but just like you got white bread, you got wheat bread.
Okay.
So
they got
it's anything you can, you know
So
what?
what's your obsession with these wheats? They taste better?
No, I just like them. They're a little healthy. And I'll eat some. Where the utensils? I'll eat some white noodles.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
And
You're not gonna cook all that spaghetti?
excuse
You'll
me.
cook it for two.
Yeah.
That's all
hey,
the
man.
spaghetti?
Can
we
can
on
I?
a diet? All right, I'm gonna stop.
I was gonna say,
Take
can
me
I?
back to what-
Look, I'm talking and cooking. And
Okay.
I never usually do that.
Okay.
And I really don't cook a lot.
I feel
You know what I mean?
special.
You should.
I feel very special.
You should.
Okay, so you
You
cook it.
definitely should.
You cook it. Take me back to what was going on during this time of spaghetti noodles with ground turkey.
I had a very simple upbringing. My parents were married before my father passed in 2016. They were married for 45 years. So I had a good, solid upbringing. 3 siblings. I'm second in the pecking order. So I watched a family, growing up. My mom was big into While my parents were big into, having dinner, no matter what we had, whether it was practice or, moving around, we had to have dinner, whether it was 5-10 minutes before we, every night. So all that to say, I came up in a very, and I'm very appreciative of coming up in a very stable, solid upbringing. Because I look at shit now, shit.
Was it middle class or?
Oh, no, we ain't had no money.
Okay.
We ain't had no money.
Okay.
We was in Chicago. We moved to Knoxville, Tennessee for a quick minute. And then we moved down south. Well, we moved farther south to Atlanta.
Okay.
And that was the best decision my parents could ever made because I loved this city. It was, of course, being a black Mecca, I was able to go to high school here and just really grow and spread my wings. And here I am in this great city of Atlanta, sitting here with you, Coline, cooking some spaghetti with ground turkey.
Did the economics change in your family when they moved to Atlanta also?
Yes. It did get better. Now, in Chicago, we didn't have no money. Knoxville, we didn't have no money. But when we came to Atlanta, things, got a lot better financially for my parents. So, of course, that made a big difference.
Were your parents in the industry in any capacity?
No, but my uncle was, the late, great Stanley Bethel, was, he was in the music business. And that was my first foray into the music business because he used to take me to the different conventions, the Jack the Rapper conventions, BRE conventions, Impact. And I just fell in love with, to be honest, I first fell in love with the glamour and the glitz of just being in the mix. And being around him, he taught me a lot because he was in the industry for years. And he used to tell me, and I got to see it for myself, that this shit is very fickle and phony, but you have to find something to keep you grounded.
What did he mean by that? Like,
that you're gonna meet a lot of people that are phonier than a $3 fucking bill in this music business. And I've been surrounded by those type unethical, phony people. Not all of them, because I know some great individuals that are like family to me now. But this industry, unfortunately, has been very fickle and is very phony to this day. It still is. But I've learned to maneuver.
yeah.
I learned to maneuver. I have 3 kids, so having a family and being grounded with a solid, I tend to think that I'm a very spiritual person. So
What kept you grounded?
my family, my kids.
Your kids and your wife and all that at the time.
Yeah, my kids.
Okay, your kids.
Yeah.
And then what was like your first encounter with the phony and the fake?
Ooh.
Like what was your very first like, oh shit, like reality check?
I don't remember one incident, but just the fact of like you're meeting people and go to a meeting and people say, hey, Coline, this is what we gonna do. We're gonna do this deal, let's blah, say blah, let's handshake on it. Then you don't never hear from them again.
Oh, I don't like that.
That
Yeah.
shit always bugged me out.
Yeah.
Like, why would we go through all this shit and talk about this and say we're gonna do something? If we can't do it, just say, hey man, something happened, we're not gonna be able to do this deal right now, or the budget changed, but just disappear. That shit is whack.
Yeah.
That shit is whack.
Yeah.
That shit is whack. So it wasn't just, Coline, it wasn't just one incident. It was really numerous ones. Because I started interning at 2 labels. This was 93, 94. So in those early 90s, of course, the game was way different than what it is now. So I came in and I was able to learn from street promotions and, taking it from that ground level and taking that
You was in
experience.
street promotions,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's like the start
Oh, yeah.
base level.
Yeah, 94,
And then
90.
what were the rappers around that time?
Well,
And you were only in hip hop at the time? Because hip hop was fairly new, right?
well, not really fairly new, but one of the labels I interned for was Relatively Ruthless. Red Distribution had an office here in Atlanta.
Okay.
So, of course, on the Ruthless side, that's, Eazy-E, MC Ren, Bone Thugs, Hoes with Attitude.
Did you do the Silky Fine and all those guys too?
I don't know.
Okay,
No. And then on the Relativity side was more East Coast, the Beat Nuts, Fat Joe, Common.
Okay.
So I was able to get that experience. And then at the same time, I was interning for an independent label. Brother Marquise from 2 Live Crew.
Okay.
And the super producer DJ Toomp had a label. and I interned for them. So that tells you how bad I wanted to be in it because I interned at 2 labels.
And did you have to work like side jobs in addition to the interning?
Well,
Or were you like trying to were your parents helping you out?
I just told this story recently for the first time. Excuse me. I was working at Delta Airlines.
Oh, shoot. Shout out to Delta. Okay.
Yeah, so I remember coming home and telling my parents that I wasn't working at Delta anymore. And my mom kind of lost it. Like, what? It's a good job. You could have worked your benefits. You could have worked there for years.
What were you doing at Delta? Were you like a steward person?
They had a program for students, college students. At that time, I was in school for a couple of years. And so we just did it was customer service. Some of us at the gate. It just depended, but it was customer service. So my mom, in her defense, she had the right to be mad because I was young. My dad pulled me to the side. He said, "Hey, come here, son. Let me holler at you." Excuse me. He said, "Go for it."
Oh, shout out to Pops.
Rest in peace, Tom Clark. I love you, brother. I miss you too. But
And you told her like the reason why is because you really wanted to put all your buckets in this, all your eggs.
I
in
didn't have
that.
no income, so she was like, "Shit."
Yeah.
What
And were
gonna-
you
what
living
gonna
with
do?
them too?
Yes, I sure
Okay.
was. I was young.
Okay, shout out to Papa Dukes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that put me on. It's like he put the batteries in my back to go for it.
Oh, I love that.
And then from that internship, things just start happening. Things just start rolling, and my career started taking off.
And when did you get that first like check
Moment
from?
that I was in the music industry.
Yeah.
Freaknik weekend. Of course.
Sorry.
Let me put my gun.
I'm sorry. Oh no.
When I talk about Freaknik, I gotta
No,
put my shades
no,
on.
come on.
Gotta put my
Streets.
shades on. Talk about Freaknik.
Streets. All right, go on.
Hey, I'm trying to brown my ground turkey.
You know what?
Not,
It's because you're turning it off. You got to turn that dial the other way.
it says how. Okay.
Yeah.
You know I'm 3/4 slow.
Well, no, I'm realizing you
I might
really
be
ain't in the
handsome and
kitchen.
shit,
I'm
but I'm
very
3/4
lucky to
slow.
be cooked for right now.
I'm
I'm
3/4
realizing
slow
it right now.
That what I'm 3/4 slow?
No, that
Oh,
you
shit.
never in the kitchen.
Stop, man.
He's like, why is it not getting hotter?
Because
I'm like, you keep turning it off.
Look.
I know,
Coline, it says high and it says low, but I saw the dot.
Okay. You was getting real close to the dot, but
I was. So Freaknik weekend every year. Of course, every artist came to Atlanta. So I was still interning at this point with Relativity Ruthless, and we had MC Ren in town, and he came by my apartment, and I couldn't believe it because I was such an NWA fan. I was, oh man, and I was like, I'm in the industry.
he came by your apartment or your parents' house?
No, at that point I had moved.
Okay,
I had got me a little 1-bedroom, so he came by my apartment.
Oh wow.
And I was like, damn, I made it. MC Ren is at my motherfucking apartment. So that was like the first time that I felt, even though I was intern, I wasn't making no money.
Yeah.
But that's when I felt like, okay, I'm really in this business.
Yeah.
But little did I know that it would take for years of me really cultivating certain relationships to really be in this business.
Yeah.
So, but that was really my first time. Yeah. I was like, damn, MC Ren in my apartment. So.
I know for me personally, like I was an entrepreneur for a long time, but it wasn't until I bought my first house where I really was like, I'm legit. Like when a bank lends to you based on the money, because you always feel like a hustler, maybe imposter syndrome. What was that next time where you were like, okay, I'm legit?
Honestly, when I started getting paid.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay,
and it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot.
Okay.
Relativity eventually hired me. Our I think our VP. I think he was VP. His name was Muhammad Ali, and our national director was Rich Kid. That was his name, and they hired me to do street promotion. Guess what my salary was? I was on a monthly stipend of $500.
I mean, back then that was probably cool, right? No, it was still bad.
No, but it didn't matter. It could have been $5.
Yeah.
Just the fact that I was getting a check.
Yeah, of course. Doing what you cared about.
Yeah.
And at this point, you're probably killing the game in promotions.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. I was definitely good at what I did, and still good at what I do. But when I got a check for it, that's when I was like, okay. And I showed my parents, and they was like, okay, $500 a month, that's a start. But then within a few years, that 500 turned into thousands and thousands because my career started growing.
And what was that next thing that made your career start to grow?
A lot happened. Like I said, I started working for other labels doing street promotions. But then Raucous Records, for those who don't know, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, we had Sound Bomb, and we had a lot of stuff with Eminem, Common. They called us the Backpack label. So Raucous Records hired me. And
Why would they call? What does the backpack label mean?
It's backpackers. Like that's what we were known as, the Backpack label. Look at the artists that I'm talking about. And this is, and I love Mos Def, Talib Kweli, but at that moment in the '90s, it was more of the Backpack Kids. That's what they called us, the Backpack label. And a lot of white kids listen to the artist, listen to the artists we had on the label, Eastern Conference, all those artists. So I started working with Raucous Records. And then from there, I started taking on other positions. I was working here at EMI Distribution Office as marketing. We had Virgin, Capitol Records. Then Outkast hired me to run their promotion department at their label.
Wow.
And
Outkast directly did
yeah,
that?
they had a label as well. So I was working with the label, Aquemini. That was the first, before it became Purple Ribbon Records. So then then Steve Rifkin, shout out to Steve Rifkin. He's one of the biggest icons in this music game. He brought me on. You looking at, I'm not gonna burn it, man. You ain't gotta look like that. I saw you cutting your eye.
I had
gonna
to.
cut her eye at me like I'm about to burn up the whole studio.
All right, go on.
Coline, don't do me like that. But so after that, and these are just jobs. Now keep in mind, I still was doing tons of other things.
Yeah.
Consulting, man. I had my own label.
So you're like now you're like a hustler / promoter.
I'm not a hustler. I just became that one of those dudes.
Okay, I thought you were gonna be like, I became that nigga. No.
I mean, shit, yeah, technically. You
that
ask
nigga.
these niggas in Atlanta, nigga.
Okay.
Shit, no, I was one of them niggas. Man.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I like how you did that. I was one of them niggas, nigga.
Yeah, I was. Shit, I tend to think I still am, but
I can see that.
Why? Because I'm for the streets.
You for the streets.
Man,
Go on. Go on, Jerry. Sorry.
Oh boy, man! I just want to come and do a great interview with you, Coline.
You're doing a great job. I love it.
No, you saying
I'm
from the
having
street.
a great
no,
time.
you saying I'm from the streets though.
Women love dudes from the streets. What you talking about? Women love dudes from the streets.
Because I heard you not to change, but I heard you doing another interview, and you said you got like slots for
Oh my
niggas.
God.
But we gonna leave it. We gonna stay on. We gonna stay on point. I'm gonna brown my little ground turkey. Yeah, she said she got slots, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to your story.
So yeah, Steve Rifkin, icon Steve Rifkin brought me over to work with him as vice president of SRC. And we had, Asher Roth. I mean, Steve Rifkin, I don't have to tell, but those who don't know, I mean, he signed some of the biggest acts in the history of hip hop. So when I worked for him, I thought like, wow, I'm working for one of the biggest icons. And I went from there to Shakir, the late, let me preface, the late, great Shakir Stewart, rest in peace. Him and Jermaine Dupri and L.A. Reid brought me over to Island Def Jam to work with on JD's side to run a promotion department. And so that's just, I'm giving you a Cliff Note version of my career in this business. And that's just from having jobs. That's not all the other things. And that's why you have to tune in to Storytime with Legendary Jerry podcast, because I talk about all the other things that I do.
Before we I'm going to get to some of the other stuff you do.
I know you
But
are.
I want to talk about promotions for a second, since
Okay.
you are the GOAT in promotions when it comes to
I'm definitely not the GOAT.
music marketing.
I'm
Well,
definitely
you
not the
definitely,
GOAT.
okay. Well,
I'm
just
definitely not. I can name some GOATs now.
Share with me some of the tidbits that you learned along that helped with your promotions. At least when
In
marketing
radio promotions and marketing, there's really one thing that really pushes the needle. And Coline, that's relationships. You have to nurture. You have to develop and nurture relationships. That's the end all be all. You keep great relationships, you're going to have a very, very successful career. It's all about relationships at the end of the day. That's it.
And when you're talking relationships, you're talking about relationships in media, radio.
All across the board.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sure
Even in politics. Too. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there.
Coline, golly, man. Woo, you see how I looked at you?
Yeah, I know. I know why you looked at me.
Even in politics.
Okay.
Even in politics. Let me look, now I can cut it down.
Okay.
I can cut it down to low.
Why
But,
you shoot that look? Is that off limits?
No,
Okay,
not at
good,
all.
because we ain't going to leave it off limits.
This full transparency
Okay,
right here.
okay.
Jerry Clark, you got me. And I don't do transparency interviews like this.
Okay.
But when I got that call and they said it was Coline, I said, let's rock.
Okay. So
Let's rock.
and since we did segue into politics,
Yes,
did we
ma'am.
pass this chapter in your life yet, or you didn't skip over it, right?
They kind of overlap because I got into politics. It really wasn't my idea, to be honest. It was other people's idea because they saw so much potential in me from a leadership standpoint. So it was like, what we're going to do is we're going to appoint you to a board called the zoning board. And Coline, I had no clue what a fucking zoning board was. But come to find out that it is a very powerful board no matter what municipality you're in. And they appointed me to that board.
Who is they?
The folks that ran the county that I was living in, which is right here in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta. So
your relationships at this point are buzzing.
yeah, man,
You could drain the water into that bowl.
okay.
I was trying to help
ain't got
you
no
out.
strainer?
I was trying to help you out.
If you was gonna help me out, you would have had a strainer.
Nah, man.
That tell me you don't cook.
This eating while broke. You better use one of those.
I forget.
You better use one of those tools.
I forget.
Shout out to 85 South. They built this whole set for us here in
Shout
Atlanta.
out to 85 South. I could pour all this in here.
No, see, that's how I know you ain't in the kitchen. You better Let me just say something to all y'all listeners. He taking the raw meat thing and he just keep swapping. So like if we die of some kind of bacterial thing, I just want to just totally highlight that Jared Clark is the reason
You
why.
have way worse bacteria in your mouth than this.
Oh my God, Jerry.
Oh, Stacy. Oh,
Jerry, how long you gonna be in the ATL for? Are you going back to LA? I'm having a great time, but this is.
Ooh, I had to. Oh,
Yeah,
look, let me use something else now. Look, you see how I switched it up?
Yeah, after we already died of some kind of bacterial.
salmonella.
Did anyone else think that when they were seeing him switch those utensils out?
Because
Back
folks
and
do,
forth?
nobody look.
Oh,
nobody.
yeah, because they're not
Exactly.
eating it. They don't care if I.
Exactly. Like I say, but we go. I'm not gonna get on
right.
your bacteria, but anyway. Hey y'all, this is Coline. This is Jerry Clark. We're having a great time here,
We
and
are
this
having a
meal is
great-
about to be even.
We gonna see.
this
I
gonna
ain't
be the-
seen no
let me tell
seasoning.
you,
All I know is I'm eating.
there's
raw
no
spaghetti
seasoning.
meat. It's
There's
right
no
behind you.
seasoning.
There's a bunch of seasoning.
Oh, see, I didn't know this. This is my first time on set, baby girl.
All right. Well, what seasonings do you need? Don't look. Don't look. Don't
Oh,
look.
no, watch out now. Jeez, man. There we go. Jeez.
I just wanted to see if you knew the names.
Look. Hold on. Let me stand up when I do this. This goes into Gigolo Jerry for the street. Look.
Okay, Gigolo. Okay. Okay, Jerry, I'm sorry. I'm having a great time. All right, let's go back to the politics because I want to get to prison sentences and all that good stuff, okay? I want to get to that. I want to get to the promised land.
So fast forward, I was appointed to the board. I was on the board for a few years, and at this time, I was still flying back and forth to New York for my meetings. And let me say this. I'm all about accountability, so I'm not going to sit here and act like that I didn't do anything wrong. I would never do that. But, in the music industry, or period, if somebody takes care of you, say, hey, send me an invoice for whatever, and you shoot them back some, it's just, appreciate it, scratch my back. In politics, that's bribery. and you go to federal prison for that, which I
Of course.
learned.
Yeah. So they took care of you. You blessed them.
An individual, he needed some help with a vote, and I gave him my vote, and I told him I needed some help. I was flying some young black kids out to California to play baseball in a baseball tournament, and I needed some help paying for those plane tickets, and he helped me. The amount was $3,500. I went to federal prison for 9 months for $3,500.
That's a heavy fist.
It was so interesting. And when I got down to Maxwell Federal Prison Camp in Montgomery, Alabama, that a lot of people on my work detail in my dorm, Clark, man, you ain't in here for no $3,000. I was like, yeah, I am.
What year
Who the
was
fuck you
that?
piss off?
That's me.
I was indicted in 2015. I went to
Jeez.
prison 2016. So I did 9 months of federal prison. And I'm able to say this now. I'm going to look in the camera and say it. That's one of the best things that ever happened to me. I never thought I would ever say that.
Yeah, tell me why. Tell me why 9 months.
Because let me tell you something. I got a call from, look, we're going to go back to the people in the music business that really helped me and that really grew me outside of my Uncle Stanley Bethel. There's a young lady by the name of Sherry Riley. She has books. She's a very motivational person. She's just a great person. And she helped me early on in the music business. But outside of that, she helped me early on personally as well. And she called me. I was in a deep depression. Had to sell my house. I just went through a divorce. We didn't talk about that. I just went through a divorce. Sold my house. My daddy died the same day I got sentenced to federal prison. So I was in a deep, deep depression. I didn't think I knew what depression was, but I found out I was in a deep depression. She called me one morning before I turned myself in to federal prison, and she said, called me about 5:36 a.m. And she said, Jerry, what is synonymous with 9 months? And I said, childbirth. And she said, God is birthing a new you. Pay attention. And those were some of the greatest words I ever heard. So shout out to Sherry Riley.
That's an amazing perspective.
Yes. Yes.
But you can't say day 3. I went to jail one time for 24 hours. It was a terrible, terrible experience.
Yeah, you went to jail. I went to prison.
Yeah, it felt like prison.
You know
It felt
how-
like
you
real
know how-
legit.
Remember when Cat Williams did that interview? He said, no. I went to jail. I'm not. Not I went to prison. You went to jail.
Oh, okay. There's a difference, huh?
Shit, yeah.
You can't drop the soap or nothing, or
well,
I had to go. I had to do it. I had to do it.
Golly, man. You see, golly. Yeah, because one of those dudes that dropped the soap was in your slot. Now, that's why. But I went to, and one thing I can say, I went to a federal prison camp. So it wasn't.
Was it like the FBI, like the white collar crime prisons?
Well, it's street niggas there too, but yeah, it was a lot
Okay.
of white collar attorneys, doctors,
Okay.
bankers. So
So
I
what's
won.
the
I won
difference
around no
between prison
violence.
and
and
jail?
that.
Because I feel like I
Well,
was hard.
in the Fed system, they got different levels now. I was at a
Okay.
camp. You got a camp, you got a low, you got a medium, you got a high, you got the penitentiary. So I was at a camp. I was at the lowest.
So it was like luxurious? What
No,
was it?
prison ain't never luxury.
No, because I had homies that went to jail and like you could like get them food and stuff.
Well, I don't know. That didn't happen. That didn't happen where I was.
Okay, so what happened in jail?
What you mean? What happened? That shit. I worked every day. I went out on the base and I was on landscaping detail, and I went out and cut grass
why
every day.
was it
I played
so
softball.
great?
I did yoga. What you mean?
Well,
great?
you said
No,
it was
wasn't
like-
great.
you
It
said
wasn't
you-
great that I went. No, hold on. It wasn't great of going to. It was great of what it did to me. What I needed to get back right spiritually and everything. I needed that situation at 9 months. Like I said, Sherry Riley told me, I needed a new me birth. Birth with an ED. And that's what that did. It birthed a new me. And I needed that. Because I had been skating by in life, living great, financially great, beautiful family, 3 kids. But it's still, I was surrounding myself with certain people that I shouldn't have. And not just that, but I just needed to be a better person. And that situation strengthened me spiritually because when you get knocked down to that canvas, I'm going to say it again. My daddy died the same day I got sentenced to federal prison. When I got to federal prison, not even maybe a month into my sentence, I got a call that my daughter in college up in New York had a suicide attempt. So I was getting, I'm getting hit every which way. So I got knocked down to that canvas. Okay. And sometimes when you get knocked down to that canvas, you get knocked down to a position of praying.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm going to say that.
Okay.
It helped me spiritually, and it helped me just become a better person. Now, I don't wish prison on nobody. That shit is, like somebody told me when I first got there, they was like, Clark, you ain't really going to be here that long. You here 9 months. But this shit is like being dead while you alive.
Plus, 9 months feels like eternity, right?
Man, that motherfucker felt like 9 years. You can't eat what you want. You can't get no pussy. You can't be in the streets.
You can't. I'm gonna tell you, I did my 1 day in jail.
You
Okay,
can't be in the
I gotta rep my jail time. Okay, I did my 1 day in jail. I learned about daddies and mommies, aka prostitution. Yeah, they call them daddies and mom or daddies or whatever. I don't remember what prostitution languages I learned, but I learned a lot about pimping.
What language do you use? No. Okay, my bad.
Okay,
I had
Jerry.
To. All right, let me make your look. Can you hand me a fork, please?
Okay.
Oh, no, I can make, here, this your plate. You just gonna have to switch. Ooh, don't try to, hey man, don't do that. Don't do that. I know you gonna throw it away. She not gonna eat this on camera.
I eat, okay? Because
She don't
at
want-
85 South, I miss all the good meals, and then I live on.
She don't want salmonella poison, as she say.
That's right. Here, make your plate. I want to
No,
make
that's
sure.
yours.
Yeah,
Hold on,
but
can
you
I
got to
put the-
make 2 plates. I want us to both die
Yeah, we are-
together.
Yeah, well, that's what we gonna do.
We're gonna die
what
together.
was that? Romeo and Juliet? Who did it? See,
Yeah,
I don't
we
know.
gotta
Okay.
do a Romeo and Juliet
Okay, you
style.
said, see, I told you I read a little bit.
So what happens after you get out of jail? Like, what's your first play?
I went to the halfway house for 2 months, and then
Ooh, that's required?
it depends on.
Or were you just like homeless at that point?
No,
Sorry.
I went to my parents. My dad had passed, so my mom was in the house by herself. So I went there, and one good thing going back to relationships is when you have great relationships, people start calling you. So I started getting calls to start back.
In promotion, in the music business?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got right back in the mix.
Okay.
Even though a lot of those same people treated me like I had the Zika virus, COVID-28, all that shit when I was going through my federal stuff. Which, I mean, looking back at it, I mean, you know, people, when they hear, oh, I'm sorry, Your Majesty.
Thank you. Let's see if
Your Majesty.
we live through this.
You just go eat? You ain't praying? I'm
No,
praying.
no.
I'm praying.
We definitely need to pray. There, you can
Amen,
pray.
amen.
Please, Jesus.
Put your hands
Keep
up.
us from dying, okay? The streets is cook this
Amen,
meal
amen. The streets
with
cook this
one
meal.
utensil
Hey.
touching the bacteria meat.
Keep
to
us
the,
from having salmonella poison.
Yes, please.
Ooh, look at this.
I'm gonna make Joe
This-
take a bite
Damn.
at the end of this.
Look, man, look at this.
Okay,
look at
here
this.
we go.
Look at that. Look at that ground turkey hide. But let me tell you, I ain't never cooked no spaghetti like this. All because I'm here with you.
All right, here we go.
This the best spaghetti I've never had in my life.
Okay.
Oh, good. That shit good, man.
You know, it's only been seasoned with garlic powder.
You see, you lucky we on the camera because I was gonna tell you to stop that bitch and get your ass in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But hey,
It's okay. It's okay.
stop that bitch and get your ass in the kitchen. Shit.
If you're
This meat good though, ain't it? Wait, pause.
Wait, is this
Pause.
what?
Pause.
wait, what?
No, this spaghetti
this
is
meat
good.
is good.
Pause.
He's
God,
on the
that's
streets. We're gonna name this episode.
not this
Jerry
meat
for
is
the
good. This
streets.
ground turkey. I'm sorry, boy.
This meat is
No, you can say that.
you from the streets,
You
bro.
can say that because you
I'm not gonna sit here with you and say the meat is
you like some meat.
the meat is
Look, let me
good.
stop.
Okay, I'm gonna take one more bite of our
Okay.
Death plate.
Best spaghetti I ever had in my life. All right, let me put my shades back on. Put these shades back on.
Okay.
Okay. Make sure the oven is off.
I'm eating this. And I just want to say
What?
it's decent, but I am starving. So.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
All right. So okay, you get out of prison, not jail, but it's prison camp, so it's like the baby prison.
No, it's still prison now.
Okay. So you serve your 9 months.
I ain't seen nobody get cut up or raped or fucked or none of that shit. I ain't seen none
You
of
could
that
drop the soap freely.
shit. Yes, I could.
You
I
could?
really could, yeah.
Did they have like solo?
They had we had individuals, man.
It was like a stall, or was it like? I like those prison movies, like the Shawshank
Then you like prison
Redemption.
movies. What kind of weirdo shit you into?
I be
Let
into
me
that.
fi-
I'm all into that shit. Like the
Shit.
prison movies, the addiction
Oh.
movies. I like all that stuff.
You
I
said
don't know
the
why.
who movies?
Like the addiction shows.
Oh, I
and all
thought you
that.
said the dick and the booty movie. That's why I was like, that's what I thought you said. Addiction. Okay, it
Addiction.
sounded like you said something.
Not a
else,
dick in a booty. Okay.
That's what it sounded like you said.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not into those type of movies.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, but you could safely drop the soap
Yeah,
in.
it for it to be prison, it wasn't a horrible experience. I'll say that. To the point that when my kids came down and saw me, they was like, "Dad, it's a golf course right there. We saw horses." I was like, "Yeah."
There were horses?
I mean, because on where I was, they train some of the inmates to care for horses.
Oh,
and
that's
dogs
nice,
and all
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, but it was still prison. Let's not get it twisted.
Okay.
So I went to prison for $3,500. Boy, somebody in here singing, y'all. Church.
I was trying to find out where it was.
I don't know. They singing.
Where is it coming from?
They singing.
Oh, they singing.
Damn, this spaghetti good.
Okay, so
So,
after
yeah,
you get out of prison, then what happens?
I came back home to Atlanta. Due to strong relationships, people started calling me, placing me. Hey, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. And I jumped right back in the mix. So, Coline, that was a great thing. And it goes back again to relationships. That's it.
Yeah.
If I didn't have those, who knows? Shit, I might have been out here selling my sausage or something to some women.
The streets
Selling sausage to
the
women.
streets is watching, boy.
The street, hey man.
The streets is
when you,
watching.
look, when you in the jungle, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
From a marketing perspective,
Mm-hmm.
we're in a new age with social media and the
Mm-hmm.
way the industry is just flipped so many times over
Yes, it has.
on its head. Do you think it will be harder for people now that they're getting in the music game?
Good question. It's I think it's harder and easier because you have, from a technology standpoint, you have so many ways of getting your music out to the masses. But then it has taken away from like the really touch, guerrilla marketing, shake hands, kiss babies, and just personable. It's gotten away from that because people they feel like with media, with technology, I should say, you can get, which is a great thing. I love it because a lot of people that have blown up when it never got found, if it was just for the traditional way of how I came up in the business, where you got to wait on
Ship
somebody
your
to sign
demos,
you
yeah.
and get on the radio. Now, shit, you can create your own story. So, and that's a good thing. So, whether or not it's easy, I would say technically, I would say yes, it is. It's definitely easier to get your music out because I can go. We can any of the DSPs. Me and you could do a song and then we could put it up. Now, as far as getting it out to the masses is different, but we could still, we could do a TikTok video with our record and it should go viral. And next thing you know, boom.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, now that I'm thinking about it, it's easier now because in those days, let's just say 90s, early 2000s, it was a different game.
Did you do a lot of pay to play when it came to radio?
That's illegal, so I've never done that. I've never done that in my life. Let me look at the camera. I've never paid anybody for any record play or nothing.
I mean, I was in the industry. I saw a lot of that.
Oh, well, you saw it. I never
Okay,
seen
you
it.
never did it.
Nobody I know. I never done it. Nobody I know has ever paid anybody to play a record.
Really? Okay.
Ever. No people that I know.
Okay. But your stuff was all relationship anyway.
All relationships.
So you didn't
You
have
got
to.
if you got great relationships, you can make a lot of things happen. But
Okay.
I've never paid nobody to play a record in my life.
So who are you working with currently right now?
Well, I'm concentrating on my podcast, but I have an artist that I'm working with that I'm excited about. Actually, he's from the West Coast.
I'm from New York originally, just so you know.
Oh, where you
Don't
living
don't ever claim West Coast on me, even though I lived there way too long. All right.
at? How
go
long
on.
you been living on the West Coast?
That's exactly why I should
How
have
long you
never
been living
even
on the
just-
West
Go,
Coast?
Jerry. It's about you.
It is, but I'm just asking.
I plead the fifth.
Okay, what part of New York you from?
BK, even though.
Live from Bedford-Stuyvesant, the son, the livest one.
So tell me, who are you currently working with?
I have an artist and I'm really excited about. First, I manage a producer. His name is July. He just won being my producer. So he did the Billie Eilish record for Armani White.
Okay.
So he got an award for from BMI last year. Then I have an artist named Drew Yari from LA. Actually, he's got a song with Lil Baby. We're shooting a video like in the next few days.
Okay.
So
you're gonna be in my neck of woods.
we're shooting a video here in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to come, throw on your little
No.
tennis skirt. Throw on your little tennis skirt, come out and start.
Nope. Not happening.
Scrub the ground. I know that was old. I'm old school. But
Okay.
yeah, so I'm excited. Then of course, the one thing that I'm most excited about is
The podcast.
Storytime with Legendary Jerry podcast.
So what can people expect when they hear your podcast?
The South's narrative. I needed to give our narrative and tell our narrative and tell my story because there's so many stories that have been told and not only myself, but we have been left out. And we just celebrated 50 years of hip hop. And for half those years, arguably, because me and T.I. just had this argument on the episode on Storytime with Legendary Jerry, the South has controlled the narrative.
What do you mean by that? The
We
narrative.
run this shit, man.
Oh, we run this
The
shit.
South, yeah.
The South runs-
Between Houston, Memphis, Miami, New Orleans, for 25 years, Atlanta by itself damn near ran this bitch. So we have for half of these 50 years of this hip hop.
Why is it only half? 'Cause
No, what I'm saying is we've definitely controlled the narrative for 25 of these years. For half of these years, it just is what it is. You can hate it, whatever. I know you, New York ass niggas, y'all go, nah, we but
like when you say control the narrative for hip hop, rap.
for the last 25 years, Coline, the South has.
Let me get my Jay-Z bravado on. Hold on.
Yeah, no, Jay-Z 50. I love all those. Got DMX. I mean,
Okay.
come on. But you look at you look at from Cash Money to No Limit to everything coming out of Memphis, and I can go on. I can have a whole show just talking about Atlanta
Okay.
and what we done from Outkast on.
Okay.
So crisscross and Outkast from the 90s to TLC to Usher. We can go on. We can have a whole show
TLC's from where?
here.
TLC's from here?
Come on now, Coline.
Get the
stop.
freak out. No way. I don't know why I didn't know that.
Come on, man.
All
Yeah,
right,
Atlanta,
all right.
man.
Okay,
we-
so Atlanta's
yeah.
been okay.
Yeah, you know that. You know
I know
that.
they live here now. For
Up
some
until
reason,
up
I
until
didn't.
lately with Thug,
You know what's
Young
so
Thug,
you know
and
what's so
21
sad is that
Savage
I
and
would have thought
Future.
TLC was from like
Where you been, man? For you not to know TLC is from? Man,
I don't
God,
know. I'm a
dog.
huge TLC fan. I don't know why I missed it, but I was
God,
very
dog.
young then.
You from
too.
upstate? You from Albany,
I'm
like
from-
Syracuse or something? Rochester?
Oh my gosh. All right.
No, be real. If you are, you are. It's
Yo,
cool.
I claim a little bit of upstate too.
Yeah, you better, because you're not from Brooklyn. Talking about you didn't know TLC was from Atlanta.
You know what? I just remember I was a huge TLC fan, and
Nah,
then
you
Lisa
wasn't. If
Lopez.
you was- look, let me tell
then
you
Lisa
something.
Lopez passed,
That's
and then
cap.
I checked out.
That's cap.
That's okay.
Cap.
Shit, I'm getting called cap
if you
on
were
my own.
if you were a huge TLC fan, you would know that they were from the A. You would know.
I
that.
was, but when TLC was around, I was really young. I will say that, okay? I didn't start liking hip hop till Jay. My first real love for hip hop didn't start till Jay. And I
So
didn't
late
get onto
90s,
Jay.
early
I didn't get onto Jay till later.
TLC had been out damn near a decade by that time. And you
After
didn't know they was from Atlanta.
after Lisa passed, it was a wrap. I was done with
Lisa
TLC.
didn't pass until
She passed in what 2000?
5, 4, I forgot.
No, she didn't pass in 2005 and 4. She passed when I was in
I don't-
high
I don't
school.
have my
It
phone
was like
right here.
2001, 2000.
Okay.
I know, because I remember everybody calling me like, are you going to be okay?
Speaking of TLC, perfect segue. I have T-Boz from TLC coming up on one of the next episodes, the story
What?
time of Legendary
I
Jerry.
tried to
Yes.
get her while I was out here.
Yes,
Look at you.
I
You
have
got all
her.
the plugs. I need to live in your Rolodex.
I mean, well,
okay?
if you come on and get on the streets with me, maybe I can.
We're going to rob this
know,
liquor store together.
You got to do a little bit more than that. Okay, all right, my
Oh
bad.
my God, the
You had-
streets is watching.
Hey, my bad. I had to, man.
Is
You walk right
everyone in
into that.
agreement that he's for the streets? We all right? We're in agreement.
No, I'm not. I'm a straight square, just out here trying to live my basic, simple
That's
life.
what every street pitches.
My kids are grown.
So what are some good stories that you've seen behind the scenes that I could have a good chuckle at?
Well, you're gonna have to tune in and watch. Unlike you saying you were a TLC fan and not knowing they were from Atlanta, you're gonna have to watch or listen, because I'm
I should have never
audio-visual.
confessed that. I should have just
Well,
perpetrated.
it is what it is. Wait,
Should have nodded.
No,
Okay.
don't perpetrate.
Okay.
Don't perpetrate.
You know,
See, you old enough to say that word because young folks wouldn't even say that. So that tell you you're in the demo.
Okay.
In my demo.
Okay.
But you gotta tune in, man. There's so many stories. Just like recently when Pastor Troy was on, he said he did the ad-libs for Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River. That shit fucked me up. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a good
I
one.
didn't know.
And that was confessed on your show, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh, so we gotta listen to your show.
Yeah, but then even like I had Princess from Crime. I know you Crime Mob, Nuck If You Buck. I know you was dancing to that in high school. Man, God,
Plead the fifth,
Nuck
plead the
If You.
fifth.
Stacey,
Stacey, if you don't shut up.
up. So I just had Princess from Crime Mob on Storytime with Legendary Jerry. She said the reason that they broke up was two females in the group. Maybe you didn't know, for those listening and watching. Her and Diamond. The reason that the group broke up because she told Diamond that Michael Jackson was getting on a remix of Nuck If You Buck and was at their house at the studio where they were over here in Atlanta. And she came there and they told her she was joking. They told Diamond that they were joking. They said that Michael Jackson was getting on, he was there at the house and he was getting on a remix of Nuck If You Buck. And they fell out. And the group, a platinum selling group, broke up over that.
Are you serious?
According to Princess from Crime Mob, she said that was the reason that they broke up. And I'm not going to dispute it because I wasn't there, because I know Princess is a stand-up person, won't lie. So a platinum selling group broke up because they said Michael Jackson over here doing it, and they said Bubbles, the monkey, is over here doing ad-libs. And they said she ran down the street and got there, and Michael Jackson and Bubbles wasn't there. And the group broke up. So them the type of stories you're going to get. Story time with Legendary Jerry.
What made you get into podcasting?
I was getting ready to go to federal prison, and I was just thinking of ways to reinvent myself when I came home. And DJ Drama, I was at his studio one night with him and Candid and Sense. And I was getting ready, it might have been a week before I was turning myself in, a couple weeks before I was turning myself in a federal prison. He said, you should do a podcast. And I really didn't know. I knew, but I didn't know. Of course, with the way Combat Jack has paved the way for podcasts, especially with people that look like us, I had knew about it because I had listened to some of his stuff, but I really didn't know. So when I came home, 2017, I said, let me get a couple mics and a couple cameras, and my shit was so bootleg looking. The lighting was bad. The sound was fucked. My shit, but I had like huge guests. So people was like, how the fuck is he getting all these folks on his show? And his shit, like, you know, when you first started, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But now look, I have a new deal. I'm here on your show.
And iHeart reached out to you on this new deal this time, right?
Yes.
So it was a random Tuesday you get the call?
Well, I had already developed a relationship with somebody over there, and we just have been linking up and talking until finally he said, I want you, if I can monetize this for you, will you be interested in doing the deal? And something about that word monetization, it does something to me. Oh shit, it's like some pussy, man. Monetization, I love that word. I mean, shit, it is, man.
I want us to be able to do a whole clip of just you, and we just gonna just do it all about the streets on you, but go on.
Damn, you gonna do an episode of The Streets?
No, it's literally, we gotta figure out a way to do a clip where it's just dedicated to you and the
I
streets.
love women, though. I ain't gonna front now.
Okay, so the monetization does something to you, okay?
Yeah, it does. Oh boy, it swelled me up. But anyway. So, but but look, listen. So that's when I said, all right, because
He said it swells him up. I'm sorry.
I had stopped taping my show, and like I said, I've had some huge guests from Uncle Luke to Killer Mike to The Dream to Gangsta Boo. I've had huge guests on my show. Bun B.
And you're booking them all yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because you're just
Call,
calling,
text.
text.
Yeah.
Okay. And they didn't mind, the homies didn't mind if the platform wasn't set up correctly the first time around.
Not at all.
They were just support.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was able to now transition into this new deal. And now here we are. And I'm excited about the relaunch.
Yeah. When
The
does it
relaunch.
launch?
We launched, this is the, it's been launched for 3 weeks now.
Okay. Nice.
Had Pastor Troy, had the Young Bloods, T.I. just dropped. And then I got T-Bob from TLC coming. I got a lot of great
Freaking
guests.
exciting.
I got-
Do you pre-tape a lot?
Yes, that's what I do. Because as you know, not being funny, dealing with
Talent?
dealing with talent can be a little tricky at times.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially, I find it when you're dealing with them on the text and the relationship, they tend to, me personally,
might show up late, might
Yeah.
cancel last minute,
Yep.
30 minutes. When I'm on the way, and I'm not gonna be there. Can we do it tomorrow? So those type things happen. So it has caused me a lot of anxiety over the years. But the fact is, I still have these relationships, and I know that they're willing to do this show for me, and that makes me continue to go.
yeah.
And so that's why I'm so excited about this show, and I want to grow it. And you know, I'm glad that I'm able to be on this show because I watched, and I said this off camera, maybe I didn't. I watched some clips of you on Instagram, and you got a gift. Like, I know we've been talking a lot of shit. You got a real life gift. So I was like, when I was watching, I went through and watched a bunch of clips. I was like, okay, she good. So I got to step my shit up, straight up.
Oh, thank you.
That's
That
why I gotta
means a
step my
lot.
shit
That's
up.
always in my head. So thank you. That
Yeah.
means a lot to me.
No, that was all cap. No, I'm just
Motherfucker. That was the streets. He's like, yo, I gotta close this deal before she leave the A.
no, but
Look
yeah,
at
so-
him. Najee's looking to the ceiling for the Lord when I say.
The Lord.
Every time we talk, they probably.
Hey, man. But no, I did. No, seriously. I said, you got a gift, man. And I was like, no, seriously, because when I first got into it, I was like over talking all the guests. I was just on some rad. I didn't know. I was just thinking. So my mentor was like, go and watch other people's shows. Go watch Larry King Live, you know. And he's like, go watch like Charlemagne and them and just see how, you know. So that's why when I watched, so that's why when I went through and I was scrolling, I watched a bunch of clips. I said, damn, she good. I said, she's good. And I don't know how long you've been doing it, but whatever, it's good.
Yeah, I just started, but I love people's stories and people's journeys. And I really like the hero's journey, like where it's like you're rooting for the hero, but they fall and then they find the strength to get back up and then they fall again. And I like your story a lot. Obviously, there's moments that we didn't get to really touch on, I feel, but.
Yeah, we covered a lot though. I mean, because personally and professionally, I continue to grow. God continues to bless me. So, you know, from Chicago to first coming into the music business in the early 90s to raising a family to going to prison and bouncing back from that. And
What was the hardest thing that you went through personally and professionally? And it could be separate times.
I mean, well, all that personally is all tied in back to, you know, all that situation happening at once with, you know, what happened, the situation with my daughter in college and me going away to the feds and, you know, because I felt like I let my dad and my mom down because I felt like I embarrassed the family and I felt like I let my kids down. So that hit me like a ton of bricks because you got to understand they were all in well, my daughter was a freshman in college and my other two were in high school. So you got to understand they going to school, teachers asking, we saw your daddy on the news, you know, all that, really acting like they're concerned, but they really being fucking nosy. So I was embarrassed. I felt like I let my children down. I felt like I let my mom and daddy down. I couldn't tell. I told my dad on his deathbed, I know he heard me, I apologized like profusely, like I just kept saying I'm sorry because I felt like I let him down. And he did so fucking much for me to put me in a position to win in life. So for me to, you know, even though the people, oh man, you went and did short time in the feds, that ain't shit, you know, but still.
Did your ex-wife at the time, were you guys on decent terms where she could give you some inspiration?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
And 9 years later, we still not. But it's fine. We have 3 beautiful kids. And I just want to have a great cordial relationship with her because our kids are now young adults, and I'm sure we're gonna be grandparents one day and have to go to weddings, and I just want to be cordial. But I don't ever speak about her because she's not here to defend anything. So it's it would just be one-sided. But I'm great. I'm in a great space in life, personally and professionally.
And I was gonna say, is your professional hardest point, is it the same at that time too? The jail situation? Or was there another point?
There was another point earlier in my career when I had a situation where I was working as an independent contractor for a label, and I had signed a contract to get paid a monthly. I think it was $10,000 or $15,000 a month. I forgot what it was, and they got behind so many months on my payment that my house had went into potential foreclosure. Eventually, it was paid and I got it out. But like things like that was a challenging professionally when, and these are labels that have never-ending money. I mean, they got so it just put me. I look at things like that, situations that put me in a hard position.
Yeah.
Like cornered me where I was like, damn, like come on, I'm doing the work. Now y'all 4 or 5 months back on paying me. Like I just think that's some bullshit.
Did you see I'm sure you saw the NWA movie where Ice Cube went in there?
Of course.
So as an entrepreneur, this
You
is
remember he went out with the bat and started
Yes,
getting all
when
the
I
priority?
say this, as an entrepreneur, I stress this to every entrepreneur. You cannot predict when someone holds your money, and that shit is painful because I'm like, imagine if someone owes you 3 months worth of money. You can't necessarily call them up and be like, motherfucker, you owe me this money. You got to be like, so I need the money,
Right.
and you got to hear their
And then
excuses.
you eat what you kill.
Yeah.
So when you're an entrepreneur, you eat what you kill.
Yeah.
So it's different than just getting that every other Friday direct deposit and the money going to the 401k. Like you eat what you fucking kill.
But
man, and that's different.
when you saw the Ice Cube movie and he did the bad thing, I don't
I
know
heard
if
a bunch of them type stories.
Let me tell you something. I don't know if it was true, but man, the entrepreneur in me was like, yes, get it, swing it, break it. And I was like, I just wanted to know.
What you were saying? Say it again.
Get it. The streets, boy, the streets is live in you. But yeah, no, when I saw that scene, I didn't know if it was real or not.
Yeah, no, that definitely was real.
But
that
I
it's
could
definitely
imagine
been
you.
numerous situations that I've seen working at a label where situations happen like that.
Yeah. Sometimes when I hear Rihanna's bitch better have my money, I'll be like, someone didn't pay her.
Yeah,
there was inspiration behind that shit. You know, it's like I'm kidnapping your wife.
There's a lot of young black men in this music business that a lot of us are rough around the edges. So, when you play with our money, is really a lot of these people, these executives and these higher up these labels, the only thing they respect is violence, and it's sad to say.
Damn.
Cat told me years ago, he was like, the only thing that a lot of people in this business respect is money and violence.
Damn.
But I just do right, man. Just do stand-up business.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then we can all make some money. But unfortunately, everybody, they don't do it. And like you just said, when you're an entrepreneur, you eat what you kill. So you can easily get thrown into the jungle where you're in survival mode.
Yeah.
And with you, like you said, you have a child. When you're in survival mode, I'm sure you move a lot different. Like, all right, now, y'all ain't gonna play with me and my daughter.
Oh, yeah. But I will say this, I've worked for companies where they didn't pay me for 6 months, a year, and been like,
As an independent contractor?
As an independent contractor.
that's
There's
that
some,
bullshit.
all white people, I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna pull up to the gas station, I'm calling you to fill my car in a minute. Like getting up in older white people's face, like, it is a problem, sir. They owe me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Whether you
this
got a
is not
family
okay.
or not, that shit ain't cool.
It ain't cool. But I do think it does happen across multiple industries, though, for sure.
It definitely does.
And I always tell people now, like when I look at business, I take on big clients and small. I never discriminate on the small because you'd be surprised when your cash flow gets messed up how that small business is the one that really saves you.
Yeah.
But shout outs to you.
Thank you. Shout out to you too,
shout out
because you
to
got a great
you.
show, man. Like I say, and I'm now you got a new listener now.
Thanks.
Yeah,
and you got a new listener.
You
and
better,
I'm gonna be
in
that
because you got to learn how to you got to learn how to maneuver in these streets.
I'm gonna be like, yo, we gotta do some work together. But
Yeah.
the next time we together, if the roles ever put us in a situation where someone's cooking?
Oh wow! Now she go
It's
diss.
gonna be
Now
me.
she go diss my spaghetti.
I make a
Damn.
good spaghetti, man. I don't know what this.
What kind of sauce you put in it?
I doesn't matter. The streets is watching.
Oh my God!
All right, thank you so much.
Hey, man.
Let me figure out a nice play on how we gonna close out this. So, let's see.
Eating
Hanging in the streets with Mr.
Look,
Legendary Jerry
eating
Clark.
while broke.
Eating while broke. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.